What is up, guys? How's it going? Tonight we're talking about when we believe Grand Theft Auto 6 will be released. And there are some hard facts that we can look at that will paint a picture. As you may know, at this point in time, Rockstar has not officially announced that Grand Theft Auto 6 exists, or formally so, and they haven't given us any kind of release date, any kind of information about that, so it's up to speculation. However, we can look at a few things and try to kind of paint that picture for ourselves. One thing that we can look at is the fact that Grand Theft Auto 3 was announced in February of 2001. The game came out 8 months later, in October of 2001. October is also the same month last year that Red Dead Redemption finally came out after a long, I think almost a 7-year waiting period from the first or second game in the series, depending on how you look at it. And if that tells us anything, we know that Rockstar likes to release games in fall. Historically, they're big games. And we know that they also have been increasing that gap in time between releasing games and series. So after Grand Theft Auto 3, the next big one was Vice City. That game came out in 2002, also in October. Once again, we see a pattern here. 5 months after its announcement and 12 months, 1 year after the release of Grand Theft Auto 3. We had a year cycle between the two games. The next game was GTA Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and what a great game. That game came out in October, as we've seen, of 2004, 7 months after it was announced, and 24 months after Vice City. So now we see a gap of 2 years between releases. They're taking their time. They're making these games better and better. We've seen this, and it continues to go through this trend. The next game that we see in the series is Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 4 comes out in April of 2008. This kind of bucks our trend a bit. 23 months after it was announced. So it was announced shortly after San Andreas, and it didn't come out for a long time. This is a big gap of 42 months from San Andreas to Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, this was a major leap, and this was also a generational leap. It's the gap between a console generation, and that plays a factor in it. And that may also play a factor in the release of Grand Theft Auto 6. We'll get there. Then you have a couple expansions, The Lost and the Damned, The Ballad of Gay Tony, and then in September of 2013, early fall, going back to their roots, we see the release of Grand Theft Auto 5. 22 months after it was announced, and 47, the longest gap yet, months after the last game, which was an expansion on GTA 4. So we see this huge gap, years and years and years, from Grand Theft Auto 4 to Grand Theft Auto 5. So what is the anticipation here? When do you believe that Grand Theft Auto 6 will release? My gut right now is telling me that they're going to announce the game sometime this year. Probably not at E3. E3 has kind of been waning. Sony's not going to be there, and Rockstar's never really relied on E3 to announce their games. Red Dead 2 literally started out as a tweet with like a red background, and people immediately knew what it was. And then for the next couple days and then weeks, they trickled out more information about the game, and they build up a significant amount of hype. And I fully expect them to do that to us again. We'll get some kind of hint that GTA 6 exists, and we'll have almost no other information for a short period of time. And then they'll give us more information here and there. And then shortly after that, we will have our first official trailer, is what I'm expecting. And it's probably going to be mind-blowing in a lot of ways. But it'll probably be a good chunk of time, a year at least, if not two, from what we've seen, between the first announcement of Grand Theft Auto 6 to the release of it. We haven't seen an announcement yet, so I can guarantee you we're probably still at least 2 years away. And some people have been really conservative, saying that they expect to see Grand Theft Auto in the fall of 2019. That's probably nowhere close to happening now. Some people talk about maybe seeing it in the fall of 2020. And that puts it right at the very end of the console generation as we know it. We're going to be seeing a PlayStation 5 sometime in 2020, 2021. I've got a video about that. And I think we'll see the next Xbox Scarlet or Xbox 2 sometime in 2020, give or take. But especially because Microsoft is very likely going to use their opportunity at E3 alone this year to announce the next Xbox. That's another discussion. But I think that we will see Grand Theft Auto 6 release in the fall of 2021. And that is a long ways away, and I know it breaks some people's hearts. What it does, though, is it lets the game ride the very tail end of this existing generation of consoles and all the many, many millions of people that have adopted them. They're not going to release their game to brand new consoles that have only been out for a year or less. It's just not what they do. They've got way too much invested in it to do that. And if it's anything like Grand Theft Auto 5 was, we'll see it released at the end of the console generation, and then we'll probably get an enhanced or improved deluxe version on the next console generation, and that's kind of becoming a standard practice. I just don't see Grand Theft Auto 6 being a release game on the PlayStation 5, on the Xbox Scarlet. It'd be pretty amazing if it was, to be fair. It'd be mind-blowing. I want to talk more about what this game is going to be like, what things we'll see, what differences we'll see in the world. And I think I will in a future video. And if you guys have anything you would like to see in the game, let me know down in the comments below. You know, do you want to have to fill up your gas tank and run out of gasoline in Grand Theft Auto 6? Do you want it that realistic? Do you want to get pulled over every time you run a red light? Or would you like to see it more just arcadey, you know? Do you want to go back to the rocket launchers and the slightly fake physics and the more obscene, obscure, ridiculous stuff that made the previous games in the genre so amazing? There's a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to reading about the game when that first trailer drops. We're going to break it down, and I think we'll probably start getting a lot of pictures. And we don't know where GTA 6 is set yet. Will be set in one of the existing cities from the previous games in the series. They've kind of gone back and done Liberty City a few times. We haven't seen it since GTA 4, I don't believe. Los Santos. There's other locations. Will they do something new? There's speculation that it could be set in London, very far back in the game's series. Will there be a female character? Like a protagonist? We'll probably see more than one protagonist. I think that's something that we'll absolutely see, just like we did in GTA 5, where we had 3. I think that we'll see that again. It will likely be one of the biggest worlds we've ever seen. I think it's going to span a far greater distance than any game before it in the series, or even in Red Dead 2. A lot of predictions. But let me know what you want to see in Grand Theft Auto 6. Let me know when you hope that it will be released. And let's just keep our ears out for an announcement. Anyways, I'm building on my channel, and I thank everybody that's here. If you have stuck along this far in the video, you are awesome. And I appreciate you being here, and we're building this channel, so if you enjoy it, please throw a like on the video, and if you enjoy all the videos, consider subscribing at some point. But more than anything, just thank you for being here. I hope you enjoy it. I love you guys. I love the audience. As always, my friends, my viewers, adios amigos. Good night.